Hey there, I'm Sarah. You're watching the Creative Ramblings podcast, where we have conversations and insights for crafters and makers of all kinds. Today, we are looking at craft tech trends for 2025. There is a ton of tech in the craft world, anything from manual cutters that we use to do our projects to something like laser or CNC machines. So, we're going to talk about the trends that I thought we would see going into 2025 after a quarter, kind of what we've already seen, what's coming up next. And I think probably the most important and the most applicable is how you can take advantage of some of these trends and leverage them to grow your small business. So, before we dive into today's topic, I do want to touch on some deals. If you want to skip this part or you're watching this later, go ahead and just skip to the next chapter. I try to share relevant deals every week. And so it is April 9th, 2025. Here's the deals that we have going on. Let's start with Cricut. There is always something on sale with Cricut. So, right now through April 10th, you can get 50% off infusible ink and blanks. So, that's a pretty good deal. Infusible ink is really fun to work with, and you can work with it on any Cricut machine. It's just cut with the fine point blade. Next up, we've got 40% off blades, tools, and mats through April 12th. So if you've got a machine, you've had one for a while, but you're looking to stock up on those consumables, this is a really good deal here. There also seems to be a deal on almost every machine and bundle, anywhere from like $20 to $100 off. So if you are looking at a new machine, they're definitely on sale right now. Let's move into the laser world. I want to start with Xtool. There's nothing spectacular about their laser sales right now, although there are some deals. But their Kickstarter campaign for their new apparel printer is coming to an end. That's going to end on Kickstarter on April 11th. This apparel printer is like an all-in-one DTF printer, and I've been playing with it for a while. I do have some videos up on it if you want to take a look, but it's a pretty incredible way to create your own designs at home, transfer them to any kind of apparel, and then sell them. And it's just a really good deal on Kickstarter right now. And if you're familiar with how Kickstarter works, the more people that pledge to commit to the machine, the more bonuses that are unlocked. And it's looking like they might unlock the next level this week. So there's a link to the Kickstarter down in the description. And go take a look at it if you're interested. You can just learn more about the machine too. If you're watching this after April 11th, I'm going to change that link over to just the regular page on the Xtool website where you'll be able to learn more. We Create Lasers. They just launched the Vision Pro. I have a couple videos on that one as well. It is a really cool machine. It's an upgrade from their original Vision. They've got some new technology in their laser that decreased the spot size. So it is a really powerful cutting machine and a really detailed engraver. So a lot of cool things in a 45-watt laser. So there's an early bird special on that right now for about another week. And then it'll be available just to buy and ship, but I have a feeling there'll still be some discounts on it. The Vista 10 watt is going for about $6.99. That is a fantastic hobby laser. Great first laser to get. I love my Vista, super easy to use. So getting that around $700 is a very good deal. Now let's talk about Atom Stack. This is a laser company that is new to me, but they are not new. They have been around for a long time. They create some pretty amazing lasers. I have just gotten familiar with their P1, which might be the cutest laser I have ever seen. It is little and compact. It's got a diode laser in it. You can get it with an IR module in it, and it actually works in my craft room because it's so small and compact. It is a great companion to crafts you're already doing. So, a quick way to personalize something, maybe a piece of jewelry or a piece of wood, a slate coaster. It is excellent for those small little personalization jobs. And this laser is under $300. Uh, for being under $300, it is fully enclosed, which you don't often see at that price range. We often see open lasers, which I do not recommend because they're just not very safe. So, this one, I think this is a great craft companion, and I am working on some content around this as well. So, I'll be sharing that on this channel very soon. All right, moving away from machines, let's talk about some accessories. Maker Flow Crafts does incredible blanks specifically for lasers and sublimation, and they work with drinkware. So and other stuff as well, but drinkware is kind of where they shine. All kinds of tumblers and glasses. And they have this really cool thing on their site called Build a Bundle. So you can go click on Build a Bundle and you can add whatever you want to the bundle so you can get the right kind of tumblers that you want to work with, and then you're going to get 10% off your bundle. I love that option because it allows you to get what you want. You don't just have to buy like the sale item. You can get what you want. So that's Maker Full of Crafts. Go take a look at that one. Um, and let's touch on Creative Fabrica real quick. They are running an Easter special starting tomorrow, April 10th through the 21st. So there's going to be free bundles you can download even if you are not part of their membership. If you do sign up for their membership or renew it, there's going to be some special gifts in it for you. So an annual membership with Creative Fabrica is only $47 and it gets you access to all of their designs and fonts. So you could use the font, you can use the design elements to create your own designs and then export them to your Cricut, your Silhouette, your laser, whatever you're cutting with. They also have some other really cool studios, like a AI studio and a creative studio where you can manipulate some images, you can remove the background, you can generate AI images. This is all included in your membership. So Creative Fabrica is definitely worth taking a look at. So, all of these deals are going to be linked down below in the description. If you want to stay up to date on weekly craft deals, I do have a craft newsletter that goes out every Thursday. You can sign up for that. If you are a laser user, I've also got a link down there for my free beginner laser guide. This is a 14-page document that walks you from the very beginning, like no silly questions. We break it down from the very beginning and walk you through everything you need to know about lasers. So take a look at that down in the description. So let's get into today's topic. We are talking about craft tech trends for 2025. I want to talk about what we thought we were going to see and one quarter in, what we're actually seeing. And then I want to talk about how these might be applicable to you as a small business owner or even just as a hobbyist. Some of these you could take advantage of, some of these you might want to skip on. So, the theme for 2025 that I have seen is that we are taking technology that was previously only available in a commercial setting or for large businesses, and it is being scaled down so we can use it in our homes as small business owners so that the items we're able to make and sell have really expanded. And those items are not only available through these giant companies, they're available for us to make too. So that's really the biggest trend I've seen. And this is everywhere from CNC and metal machines to lasers and 3D printing, UV printers, all of these tech options. The other theme that I'm seeing is not only tech going from commercial to home, but tech that used to be proprietary is now kind of expanding out there. So let's talk about smart cutting machines, Cricut, Silhouette, Caesar, these just amazing, big, powerful cutting machines that we've had for years. That Cricut's been around for a very long time. So is Silhouette. What I am seeing this year is smaller companies making machines that can compete with these big brands. We have seen competitors before, but they're kind of second thought. They don't really work that great. This year, I have seen two smart cutting machines that I own that I have reviewed, but I'm starting to use them on a regular basis and they compete. They are just as good as the Cricut and Silhouette machines. So the first one I'm seeing is from Lockleek. This is called the iCraft. It is comparable to the Cricut Explore Air 2. I think I've done like 4 videos on the Lock Leak, and it hasn't let me down yet. It is a really solid machine. It's a little bit less expensive than the Cricut. The consumables are less expensive, and it comes from a reputable company. So if you're not familiar with Lock Leak, they are a sister company of HTV Ront, who does all the heat presses. The other one that I've had the pleasure of reviewing and using is called the Cut. This is almost an exact replica of the Cricut Joy, and they've got a great software, really easy to use, a few features on the machine that the Joy doesn't have. and it's priced really well without a sale. So I'm really enjoying that machine as well. And I think we're going to continue to see this companies popping up that are not just producing cheap knockoffs, but are producing really good machines at a reasonable price. Moving from smart cutting machines into lasers. Lasers have been in our homes for a couple of years now. Been around for a long time, but they've been accessible and used in our homes and for small businesses for a couple of years. And I don't see that momentum slowing down at all. What we're seeing in 2025 is more and more affordable options from a wide variety of retailers. So we're not limited to just these handful of companies. So when I talked about deals earlier, I brought up Xtool, We Create, and Atom Stack. There's probably a half dozen companies out there that have been making home lasers for a while. They're really, really good. But what I'm seeing now this year is you can go onto Amazon or you can find a small company that is making a laser and they're priced really well and they work. They just perform really well. So it's always important to do your research and sometimes going with the big company like an X tool might be the way to go because they have the reputation, they have the customer service, they have support, they have the community. But if you're looking to save some money, it is absolutely worth looking into these smaller brands as well. Always be a little bit wary of companies that come up that maybe don't have reviews, that don't have a community around them. You want to make sure the laser that you're looking at can actually do what you want it to do. But there's no reason we can't get a decent laser at a low price from a smaller company. The other thing I am seeing in 2025 is just new types of lasers that are again available for home use. So, two things that I am seeing. One is larger CO2 laser units that previously were really only meant for those that had like a big shop or a shed to put their laser in, but now we can bring them into our home. So, Eon is one of these. Even the X Tool P2 is one of these. There are two other companies that I know of that are introducing a CO2 laser in 25 later this year that are going to be lower priced. So being able to get that CO2 laser into your home is pretty impressive because these are big, big, heavy units. And a lot of us small business owners, we don't have a separate space to work. We're just working in our homes. So being able to see those CO2 units not necessarily come down in size, but be portable and contained enough to have in our home and also come down in price a little bit is really cool. The other type of laser that I am seeing is a UV laser. This is a really cool laser. I mentioned my free laser guide earlier. I do talk about all the different types of lasers and I go in depth on UV lasers in there. So that's down in the description if you want to grab that one. A UV laser is not hot. It operates on a very different wavelength with UV light and it doesn't get hot. So when you are engraving something like wood, you're not actually burning it. So you get this beautiful engrave with no char. And it works on every, probably not every material, but almost every material. Your range is just huge. Previously, UV lasers were very, very expensive. They were really, really big. You needed to have protection from the UV light plus ventilation. You still need to have all of those things, but we're seeing them come down in size as the technology advances. And these UV lasers are starting to be introduced into home use and small business use. You are going to see more of this as we go forward in 2025. I know one company for sure that is already in that home laser market will be introducing a UV laser. I'm hoping we've got two out there, but there are some cool UV lasers already on the market that are just, they really open the doors for even more possibilities for your small business. So, moving on from lasers, the other thing that I am seeing that just took off, and I talked about this in the fall of 24, is DTF printing at home. So DTF stands for direct to film. And you print a special ink on film, you coat it with powder, and you can put it on any type of fabric. Doesn't have to be polyester like sublimation. You can put this on anything. They hold up incredibly well. It used to be that we had to order these transfers from a much larger company, and now we're seeing DTF. really kind of affordable in your home. So, two companies that have launched already in 2025 is the Xtool apparel printer, which is currently on Kickstarter for just a couple more days, and then the Lock Leak DTF printer. Both of these can just sit on a tabletop. With DTF, you do need to do some ventilation and you have to make sure you have a good setup, but they're accessible, they're priced right that you can do them in your home. So you can truly do print on demand for whatever you are selling. I did do an in depth podcast on DTF printing back in the fall. I will link that for you to take a look at if you really want to get an understanding of what this is. But I do think we are going to see an increase in those. And I bet you we see more DTF printers in addition to the ones that are already out there. You've got some from Pro Colored and from some other companies that can work in your home too. We're just seeing more and more of it come on the market. Another type of printing that is just coming into homes, and I am so excited about this, is UV printing. So think about the quality and durability of DTF transfers. So you can make DTF transfers for shirts. You can also make like DTF stickers that will go onto your water bottle and they are not going to fade. They are not going to come off. They can run through the dishwasher 100 times. They hold up incredibly well. UV printing is like DTF transfers, but directly onto the object. So I can take a blank phone case, I can put it in a UV printer, and it's going to print directly onto that phone case and just be incredibly durable. The ability to have this in your home and in your small business is really going to open up the options that you have for the items that you can sell. So no longer do you have to make the stickers and then put it on the phone case or order the phone case to be drop shipped or to be sent to you. You can just make it. It gives you a lot of creative control. So keep an eye out for UV printers. I think we are going to I've got one that I'm gonna share with you very soon, but I think we're gonna see more. This is gonna be a really cool game changer. Again, this isn't new. It's been offered for a while. It's just new to us small business owners. These are the tech trends that I have seen. So, this idea that we are taking what used to be only available to these large companies on more commercial scales are coming down to us as small business owners, and we are able to make them in our home. So, that is huge. We're also seeing a drop in price from some small competitors that can compete with somebody like Xtool or Cricut and make something of high quality that we can use in our small business. I want to talk a little bit about some non tech trends that I think really pour over into the small business side of things. And if we see consumers jumping onto these trends, it's important as a small business owner to recognize that and see how you can lean into it. So, the first one, not new. We've seen this for a couple years, but we're looking at sustainable crafts. So, if you are going through Instagram or TikTok or YouTube and you're looking at videos, you're gonna see, or at least I see, people that are thrifting and then creating something out of that. You're upcycling old clothes or fabric scraps. You're grabbing those wood dishes or tumblers and engraving those with your laser. Thrifting is a great way to be sustainable, but there's a lot of other ways to be sustainable too. Locally grown fibers that you can turn into yarn or fabric, or locally sourced materials that you can use in your crafting. The other trend that I'm seeing is AI, and we have been seeing this again for a couple years now, but AI is everywhere. If you have any type of a craft tech machine, it probably has some kind of an AI feature. So when I open up Xtool Creative Space, there's something called AI Make where you can put in a prompt, it's going to spit out a picture for you, and then you can laser engrave that. I'm seeing that in some of the smart cutting machine software as well. If you go over to Creative Fabrica, you can use their AI software to create anything from like a font to a picture to a graphic to an SVG. AI is everywhere. So there's pros and cons to AI, right? As a creative small business owner, you don't want AI to replace what you do, but we want to lean into it a little bit because it could help make your job more efficient. I really like the AI font generator on Creative Fabrica. I don't hand draw fonts very well, But if I go to Creative Fabrica, I can help generate the font that I want to use and then incorporate that into the art that I'm making. So AI doesn't have to replace you, but think about how you can lean into this to help make your business a little more efficient. So, all of this new tech that we talked about could be something that would be good for your business. Not all of this is, even though some of these things like UV printers or UV lasers are coming into the commercial realm, they still might not work for your small business. So, definitely do your research. I've got a lot of review videos on this channel here if you want to take a look at them to help you really understand if this is something that you want to invest in. For example, if you are already making custom t shirts for customers and maybe you're using screen printing or HTV, a DTF printer might help you create better quality shirts at a quicker pace. So that might be something that you want to invest in. Always shop around and do your research. There are very few of the things that I talked about that are only made by one company. So keep an eye out there. Look around, try to find the place where you're going to get the best bang for your buck, really good technology at a decent price. And finally, always listen to your customers. Look at your market. Who are you serving and what are they looking for? Do you have a market that is really into sustainable crafts? How can you incorporate that into your business? And, look into those AI things. If this is something that your customers are looking for, awesome. Lean into it a little bit and see if it can help you grow. So, those are the craft tech trends I am seeing here in 2025. What else are you seeing? Let me know down in the comments if you are seeing anything else or if you have any questions on what I talked about. If you like this podcast, I am here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Central. Sometimes it's just me, sometimes I have very exciting guests to add into the conversation. But be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. There is also a Creative Ramblings membership you can check out. Hit that join button right below this video. And there is a little blurb about what is in it for you when you join the Creative Ramblings membership. And it's just a great way to support this channel and help me to continue doing what I do. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.